On this episode, it's the part 2 of Ilana and I, our business partnership, and delving into the depths of that. When we sold our company, the do's and don'ts of that. So tune in, listen up, and let's learn a little bit together. Reinvention's not cute. Whoever said that is crazy. They're nuts, okay? Because it's chaotic, it's uncomfortable, but it also is kind of liberating, if I'm being honest, which that's what we do here. I'm Christina Rumbly. I'm a serial reinventionist, and I have done everything you can imagine, all the way from being a pop star to becoming a professional songwriter. From that, business entrepreneur, leading 250 employees, then selling my companies to where I am today. This is Reinventing Rumbly, and that's what we do here. But we're inappropriately appropriate, of course. So now it's time to reinvent. So let's get to it. Welcome back, everybody. Great to see you. Great to have you. I'm Christina Rumbly, your host for Reinventing Rumbly, Inappropriately Appropriate. And we have Ilana Alberico on for part 2 of Business Partners. If you know, you know. So we're going to dig into the depths of owning a company, what it's like when you sell that company, and the feels, all the feels that come with it. And we may have a little bit of friendly advice for you entrepreneurs out there. So come on and join us in part 2. Sometimes we did stuff, it failed. Financially, made us want to vomit. People, having to let people go that we loved and cared about, or that left us and left a bad taste in our mouth too. Like all the ups and downs of that. But at the end of the day, I think we always said if we could put our head on our pillow and go to sleep with integrity at night, whether people believe that or not, or was it?
We can't control that. You can't control if they believe it. All you can control is that it's real for us. Honestly.
That's right. And we both have had those moments of just feeling that question of what are we doing? Is this going to make it? Are we going to make it? I mean, the economic downturn in 2009, 10, 11, when we just had opened up an academy, a private esthetician and massage school, and put all of our eggs in that basket financially because we needed to groom and grow great people.
Right.
And then the economy took a dump here in Asheville. It took a while for us to feel it. And then we were just like, okay. And making the decision to close that school was extremely difficult.
So hard.
But it prepped us for having to, I think, close a spa down or sell our company. And the lessons.
Yeah. There's this premise in business that I was blind to until we sold our company. And it's this concept where, business, game theory, zero sum, there's a winner and a loser. There always has to be. And I didn't know that was the reality of business. I didn't understand that most businesses were designed to be extractive, if you will. Like if there's value in it, let's extract it so we can make money. I really believe, based on our personal shared experiences, that if students today in business schools were learning, they're learning game theory, they're learning, zero, so there has to be a winner, loser, etc. But then they're also learning this other perspective. This perspective may be about interconnectedness and generative business practices. I think that business in and of itself could be it could look very different in a very broad way. I mean, I think what we worked so hard on was culture and creating a culture that really lived the values that we cared about and care about, and demonstrating that culture with our behaviors and how we showed up. And because of that, we really ran companies that were generative, that not only created profit for us, but also created livelihood for our team members and our communities. Mm-hmm. And so we were a generative entity. We weren't just extracting the labor out of people and extracting, the raw resources out of our vendors. We were generating a product and an experience that gave back And so I think that there's, and I know that because of the legacy of where people are. I got a call from a woman that worked for us for a very long time who's applying for a job and wants a reference, and I haven't talked to her in 5 years or something, right? But the impact we've made on helping people build towards their own dreams, even when they didn't last or align with where we were going, that's a generative practice. And I do think that you said earlier, were we a one-off? I don't think we're a one-off, but we're a one of few companies that we're looking truly at how important listening is, how important presence is, and sacrificing a little profit to create more professional development for people. And we did that. Those were decisions that we made. And we could have been a lot more well off today had we made different business decisions. And I do believe, had we both been traditionally, classically trained in business school, we wouldn't have made a lot of the decisions that we made together. I really believe that.
That's true. You know, it's interesting. People asked me, I've had questions about like, you know, oh, you sold your companies, you and your business partner. How exciting.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, is it exciting? Because, and this may sound absolutely ignorant and weird, but it wasn't exciting. Mm-hmm. It was scary. Mm-hmm. It was challenging. It was emotionally draining. Yeah. Now, maybe we would have felt different if it was a windfall to the point where it was like, dude, margaritas on the beach. Let's go. Bing, da, da, ding, 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 ding. And we were like playing the calypso and partying it up. We never even did anything to celebrate us celebrating getting rid of our companies or walking away from them, or which we didn't really want to do, you know? So It was interesting. And I think that's an important part to delve into, because obviously there's the beginning of it, there's the journey of the growing it and building it, and that was where we spent most of our time, is in the journey of building it. And I think that was the funnest, that was the most fun, the most exhausting, but in a different level. That was the physically exhausting. But it wasn't emotionally exhausting.
Right.
There were times, of course, you're going to go up and down on that. But I think that it also took us a long time to get there, because we experienced everything it felt like to own and run and build and exceed and fail, but then go again. Like, I think we got to ride that roller coaster together, and we used each other a little as a crutch, because like I told a story to someone that we spent more time in our business versus on our business. We used to say that a lot. And I think it hurt us. And the advice I give people and wanting to own a business, or, you know, that ask about it is, and I don't know if I think you feel the same way probably, is maybe split the difference on that. Maybe work in your business, of course, but you might want to work on your business. And that means networking, financial prowess, like get a relationship with a VP of a bank, something we did not do until later in life. And I mean, remember, we had to walk with our husbands into the bank to get a loan, because they're like, we're the breadwinners. We were the ones making eventually, they took it on the chin for many years, but we finally were making enough money to where we could support our family enough, even though it wasn't some major like corporate job money, but we felt we were proud enough being able to do that. And what would you say, for you, in your mind, what would you say was our biggest mistake? I know that's a tough one, because it's like biggest mistake, failure, or, you know, like
I would say our biggest mistake was not how do you want to define mistake?
That's it. However you define it. You take this one, I'll take the next one.
Oh, how do you want to define mistake? Biggest, well, so from, you know, macro level, your business got to this point. What could have gotten it to that point? I think that if answering the question that way, we did not market ourselves. I think that we were so we were too humble. This is silly because this whole conversation has been about us and our business.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so it's like
we were so humble.
paradoxical thing to say. No, I do think in business we didn't understand the power of the brand that we could have built as two female entrepreneurial powerhouses in the wellness industry. And we just, the one thing I always heard and still hear is, gosh, you just flew under the radar. Flew under the radar. And I think that hurt us because I think that we did not leverage, like you said, our the ability to network as much as we could have. And I do think that really stunted our visibility to go from, X to Y. But we were just focused on organic incremental growth, and we delivered on that every single year, period over period over period. So I don't know.
I don't know. But who knows what would have happened?
Who knows? But I do think like working harder to get out front in the industry and sponsoring more things and kind of, being more supportive of our industry peers and in financially with sponsorships, but just supporting our our partners endeavors. I think we could have done more of that, and we just didn't, because like you said, we were just really focused on kind of building the most operationally efficient powerhouse of an enterprise that we could. And we did that very well. As far as biggest failure, I think the biggest failure, well, it's hard to say because it's from a position of hindsight.
Always.
Right. So, I mean, when we, coming out of COVID, we were doing two things. Three things, really. We were relaunching our business with a revitalized business model and kind of a new spin-off of operational system in technology. We were acquiring the old Red Door spas, and we were working on selling our company. And that spread us so thin that we weren't really business partners anymore. And I was over here and you were over there and you were up here and I was down here. We had not anticipated these efforts to be all consuming. And so the only way we were able to get through them is to divide and conquer. And I think we lost each other a bit during that time because we were both so committed and working so hard, but not at all in the same sphere of influence and not at all on things together. We were just reporting to each other rather than connecting and molding and meshing. And I think that was confusing for our companies. And I think that was a challenge. And then I think, going through the sales process of the company was atrocious. And
painful, like horrifically diabolical, painful. Yeah.
And I think that, I hate more than anything that nobody talks about that or tells you about it. And you have this dream as a serial entrepreneur, or like were, I want to build, and then, I guess sell. Right? That's what you do.
Yeah.
But who's talking about, okay, then you need to have these things in place, because as soon as the outside world and the money sees blood, it's on.
The shark in the water.
It's a shark. Exactly. And once that starts, the process to stop going down that process after having invested hundreds of thousands of dollars to prepare to sell, it feels impossible to stop. Although Annie Duke, who wrote the great book, Quit, I think it's like Knowing When to Quit, may have a different opinion on that. She's gonna be like, no, you could have quit.
You could have quit. Give yourself a lot of heartache.
Actually, but who knows? But I do think that there's an opportunity there to really inform and educate. I remember we had a colleague that you spoke with, and she founded a very successful fitness company. And she was the only one, may she rest in peace, that gave you, and then you shared with me, the real advice. Like the real, like, okay, because she sold to a very big brand hospitality company. And she said,
don't do this. Do this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to see more advocacy for the small businesses, because ultimately you're just going to turn into a cog on a bigger wheel. And that's it, period. End of story. Any magic gone. So where is the ecosystem to support those entrepreneurs when they're ready to take the next step of their journey? Thinks that selling is their only option. It's not, but thinks that selling is their only option. I'd love to see that ecosystem grow a bit.
I agree.
Like, what do you think? What was it like for you?
Well, I think that, I mean, obviously the biggest, it's hard, like you're saying, failure is a very interesting thing. And, you know, we've had time to reflect. I mean, you've had a year now to be looking back at, you know, after we sold our companies and we're no longer with that company anymore. But it's a real interesting experience to go back in time in your head and go, if we hadn't done this, what would the trickle down be? If we hadn't done this, what would the trajectory be? If we hadn't sold, if when I was opening up that spa, it was in August, it was right before, in September when we did this, it was right before, and we literally had to make the decision, and we had said, no, we're not going to sell. And we talked about, what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. How are we going to make this work? Because we were out of money. Yep. The loan, every loan we had was right here. And now we're staring down it. We can't get an SBA loan because we cannot finance our homes again. We cannot put our homes up as collateral.
Coming out of the pandemic. So just to paint the picture, we didn't like run the company into the ground. We were
it was after COVID. It was after COVID, and coming out of COVID was a crapshoot, right? For a lot of companies, especially in the wellness industry, especially spa, because our hotels were still not occupied as much. And we had this opportunity to sell, and it was a really difficult decision, but it was almost like we had to make it at that moment. Mm-hmm. Could we have finagled and figured out how not? We had just gone, like you said, we had gone down the path so far. How do you stop the train? Because our brains had already been like, well, this is happening. We had already confide in a few of our leadership members and be like, this is what's happening. To stop that, there was so much involved in that. It was like, we can't stop now, right? Should we have, hindsight 2020? Ooh, should we have opened up the spa salons? Ooh, you know, how would we know? Right. And I think that's the part of the blind faith of owning companies and being an entrepreneur is you're going to hit some, win some, you're going to lose some. Mm-hmm. And knowing when to hold them, like Kenny Rogers, know when to hold them, know when to hold them, know when to walk away. And it made me feel better when we went all through this that you had said, look, everything has its season. And I agree with that. Everything does.
Yes. You know where that came from? After I had my second child, I just didn't feel like working out. I just didn't feel like working out. And I didn't lose all the baby weight pretty quickly, right? First kid, had her, baby weight gone overnight. Second kid, not gone overnight. And I remember I was like real upset about it, but also didn't want to do anything about it. And and Vinny goes, listen, honey, everything has a season. It'll come back around. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to feel like a total slob.
Mine's 20 years. I'm still waiting for my season to start back up. No? Is it happening, Vinny? Real quick, Vinny, when does that season start? I've used
that so many times with friends. Like I've used that so many times because it's just such a there's just so much truth in it. There is a season. And I feel like that's what's helped us get through this, because as soon as we sold our companies, we were untethered. Like they literally took you and I and went, boop, you aren't even going to see each other. You're not going to talk to each other. Really. You're not going to work in the same hemispheres together.
And I remember feeling absolutely like I lost my whoopee. I lost my special bear that I slept with every night and would cuddle with or talk to. And it was really weird. And we spoke to each other often, but we were both trying to just absorb and be part of this new culture and this new entity. And it was really challenging.
Yeah.
And I still look back and go, I don't even know how we got through that. I think I'll still need to get therapy for many years for that.
It's what I remind myself of is our people all landed. Our people all landed well. And I think, if there's one thing from a sale process of your company that, it's your life's work up until that point, let's say, right? It's that big piece of what defines your professional journey. I can't imagine having to look across from each other and say, oh my gosh, they screwed our people over. And it gives me a lot of sense of fulfillment and pride knowing that every single one of the people that came with us,
they were offered a job or could stay if they wanted to.
Better. And right, like with better, bigger benefits, better, right? That is the benefit of going wrapped up into a larger organization. So, and now, right. So I feel like that's a good thing. That's a really, really good thing. So as much as that's
positive.
Yeah. So as founders, right, you're going to have all those founder feelings and you're going to have all that attachment because it isn't just a job. It's part of your identity, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it becomes you. And that's part of the reason why the business is successful. But in order to scale it, you have to detach from it. I think the magic in our sale was what it has done for our old people.
It's true. And if I know they miss us. I know that most of them. But
I don't know.
No, they do. The ones that like us. Those are the ones I'm talking about. But I think overall the camaraderie, because we had fun. We made sure we had fun. It was not all business and no fun and no play. We had fun. And I think we showed people what it was like to love a business partner, to have a friendship. And I think people got inspired by that. At least I would hope that we ignited some passion in people, because that's the one thing we would always be told is that we were passionate.
Yes.
We were the spa girls.
Right.
Oh, we were passionate.
Yes. When will that end? When does the spa girls turn into?
I'm 51. So I don't know if I'm a girl at all, but I'll be whatever you need me to be.
Right?
That's what we used to say. We would always say, what do you need? What do you need us to be? Do I need to be a towel girl, a spa girl?
Totally.
What do you need? Do you remember we were in a meeting once and that guy, we were in hotel meetings a lot, and most of the men in the room were the ones with the titles.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I mean, yeah, you guys going to do that rub down? The thing you do, the rub. I'm like, I don't know what this is. What is this? And I'm kind of abrasive. And so I'm like, we don't rub down anything. Just so we're clear, if you're talking about rubbing anything, we don't rub. Yeah. We professionally, with deep tissue techniques, perform vital healing of one's professional body professionally at all times.
Yeah, and we're not going to do any of that, but our licensed massage therapists are.
Sure, you don't want to give me. How many times do we walk in a hotel meeting and they'd be like, "Oh, the spa girls are here. Who's giving me a massage?"
What's really funny is
DMs. It's like, we're not touching you unless that gets us the job. I mean, just kidding.
Oh God,
just kidding. Those days are over. No one's asking me for that anymore.
It is an interesting industry because for so many of our vendor partners in the spa industry, the decision maker is a woman, right? Like it's the spa director, or so it feels very much like if I'm a vendor partner, right, or I sell equipment, I'm constantly working with women decision makers, and it's a really interesting dynamic because there's not many other industries where the person making the decision is
female,
is primarily female, right? Like,
right.
I think our industry is like 90%, or I mean, it's a very, big, don't quote me on that, but the statistics side. But for us owning a management company, we're in the room with the men. We're in the room with the asset manager and the CEO and the hotel management company representative and the advising partner and whoever else. And so our experience, unlike a vendor partner who comes into the spa industry and tries to sell into like, oh, I'm selling red mats or, equipment or whatever. Our experience was actually the decision maker is still a man. And so we very, very, very much lived that dynamic as female business partners and entrepreneurs. But
yeah,
I
we
think
did.
we navigated it well. I
think so. I think we made it fun. We made it likable. We beat out our competition that was mostly male dominated as well, where we were like, I think because of that, because we came across as they knew whoever called us from the hotel or wherever, they would get one of us and we were going to be involved in the project. They had trust in that.
Right.
And we knew we would deliver. Come hell or high water, no matter what, that spa was opening. Those people were going to be trained. That hotel would know us and everyone we'd light the room up. And I think that is something I'm very proud of for us, is that all of our relationships still stand to this day where I could say we could call them up and they would have stories about our team, us, the experiences. I would say one of the ballsiest thing we ever did was calling the 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭. We called the 𝐃𝐿'ers. We opened a phone book. This was before cell phones. And we opened a phone book up and called Richard 𝐃𝐿'er and his wife. And Martha answered. And that's how we got one of our first hotel contracts with the 𝐃𝐿'ers after the Biltmore estate. And that was a big deal because we were like, we had balls of steel. I have balls of steel still, but I think they're not steel. I think they literally are like chocolate now because they're just not as strong.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it's because as I've gotten older, maybe it's because I've experienced the balls to the wall and just going, yeah, we can do it. Rah. But now I'm like, can I? It's weird. It's almost like, yes, you have confidence to do what you know you can do. But now I'm in this reinventing stage, and I know you are too, of just, what do I want to be? Who do I want to present to the world? Because everybody knew me as this. I've done this before, but in a different capacity. But who am I? Like who cares? So that's who cares? Because we know the wellness industry is like, who are you? You guys did what? Oh, cool. It's great. Next.
No one cares.
And that's hard because we spent 20 years of our lives together coming in as a force to be reckoned with when we would go there and do that. Because we always would choose. And that is I would say it's not a downside because we really liked each other. We chose to hang out together versus, like we said, drive people to us outside from us. We didn't do that. We would just hang out together, talk together. And our opinions together were fantastic. We didn't need anyone else's opinions.
Right.
Ours worked. Right. And I think we just had so much love for each other that it filled the cup.
Yeah. Well, going back to your balls.
Yeah, my balls, my big, hairy, what?
I would say
there's a book about that. We won't go into it, but anyway.
I would say that, your balls aren't not steel. Am I saying that right? You still have balls of steel. I think you now look around and go, ooh, but I do have a lot to lose. And I think that's just the difference. It's like, when you're building in a new industry where I don't care if you're the CEO or the front desk girl, I'm going to treat you with respect and the same. And I don't know what strings you could pull because it's new, like it's a whole new thing. You as you mature into any industry, I think, and you've built and sold companies now there's something real to lose. And so are your balls still steel? Yeah. But I think your balls are also more comfortable, right?
You love this? I know my producer right now is listening to this, probably laughing, and she's probably thinking of a good graphic. Probably a picture of me with big brass cojones.
Oh.
Well, so let's talk about the big transition, right? Selling our companies and the lessons we learned. What was the most surreal part for you of selling our companies?
On the day that our company sold, I live across from the beach, and I walked out to the beach, and there was a double rainbow. That was the most surreal part.
Okay, this is incredible. Let me tell you why this is incredible. This defines the two of us and our partnership and our personalities perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So Ilana signed the document.
Mm-hmm.
It's right near probably sunset because it was at night.
Yeah,
it wasn't dark at night.
It wasn't dark yet. It was probably like 4:30. It was like right on the skids of 5.
Yep. Ilana walks to the beach. She's breathing, probably put a little bit of essential oil because remember hippie commune.
Yep.
She's probably smelling the essential oil and doing a moment of gratitude to the ocean. I'm sure she didn't take like a little shell and write a word on it and throw it into the ocean. That's Ilana. Okay. Then there was me. I am leaving my daughter in college for the first time. I'm a hysterical wreck. Yeah. And like I told the story and bawled like a baby telling the story. I won't cry now because I don't need to. I'm good. But it was so opposite for me in that it was so gut-wrenching. I was so angry at having to do this and take time away from Avery for the 100th time that our company circumvented and by choice, right? Yeah. But my experience was so filled with anxiety and stress and arguing with Doug about leaving the room and going to get the DocuSign up on my phone. And I just remember being so stressed out about it that it felt like I got just kicked in the stomach. And I was like, and I couldn't wrap my head around. I knew what was most important was being there for Avery, but I also knew I had to do this. And the division in my heart and head was so intense that it literally made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
So
no, I get it. Well, but the dot to that is that's what it was so surreal because nothing about the experience
was a double rainbow. It was more real.
That's why I said, what's the word? If it's surreal, then seeing a double rainbow, which did not at all represent
how it felt,
was the most surreal part. Like, this is surreal that after the boxing, what felt like the boxing match of the negotiations.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there were days when we would call each other at the end of the day and we would just, I would tell you, like, I feel like I'm in a boxing ring and I'm getting punched. Mm-hmm. And then they move me into a UFC cage. And then one of them's just holding me up there and just punching with new terms to the fucking negotiation. We're going to add this term and this term, take this term.
And we're going to take that term out. And we're like, wait. And you're already down.
Can I fight back? Can I fight back? No.
And then everyone we had was like, no.
No, you can't.
No.
I can't fight back.
I have to sign a 5-year employment contract. Well, we want you for 5 years. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Clearly you don't.
And so then to see a double rainbow.
And meanwhile, I'm stabbing the rainbow. It's just so much a good picture.
And then I send the double rainbow.
Yeah, I know. I know.
All of the boxers that were boxing.
Of course. And I don't send them a picture of me bawling. But I'm like, let's get this wrapped up, motherfucker. You know, I'm like on fire, angry.
Well, the sacrifice, I think that's the break point, over the years was, okay, we thought we were going to build a company to a place where we could have it be to where we could spend the extra time with our family that we both wanted to. And I think that the sacrifice, because the Avery is 7 years older than my daughter, Sabina.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And so Avery, I think, got the brunt of the loss of mother.
Yeah.
More so than Sabina ever did. Yeah. And I think that it will always define your relationship together and make it stronger in different ways as adults, as she's an adult now and a beautiful, amazing human being. But she definitely bore the burden of this
growing this other baby, her brother,
and then at the end to be having to close the deal on the day that you're dropping her off at college is like insult to injury.
It was a double. It was like I lost both my children. Like everybody was
All at
leaving me. You know, and our dog was dying at the same time. It was like trifecta. But
too much.
Who can draw this scenario and who's acting my part out? Anyone? Because I'm dead. Because I have died. I am under the ground. Yeah. I have nothing left in me. I'm completely drained. And I remember afterwards we were just like, I'll talk to you in a week, man.
Yeah.
See you in a week because I can't. I need to
But then nothing. We did nothing.
Nothing. We never did anything. We talked about going on. We're going to go on this trip. We're going to go on a wellness retreat. 20 years.
Never done it.
20. And you know, I'm the one who'd be like, let's go. But this one's a little harder to lock down on that. Okay. So here's a question. If you could go back, what would you change about that process? That we didn't do it. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. What would you change?
If we could have found an investor, I would have never sold.
Me neither.
If we could have we tried at the end. We got so desperate that we tried, and it was critical. We had to. We didn't have an option at that point, or at least we didn't think we did, because we had no one around us telling us, you don't have to do this. But we just didn't see another pathway. So again, everything has its season. We know that. Maybe it was time. Okay. We still loved each other. We still had respect for each other. We still had it in us. But I think we were burnt and fried at that point, because COVID literally killed our business.
Done.
And we came back out of it and we're like, and it did. And then it started going down again, because that's just what's going on in the economy. And that's what's happened to hospitality a little bit. But I think it pointed out to us that we're not invincible. Things do stick. It does hurt. But we had incredible years to lean on and look to and guide others. And maybe that's the point of it. Maybe that's the catalyst to the future, is we have this amazing experience as partners, but also as businesswomen and entrepreneurs that we can lean on and look back to and speak about. Not everybody can say they did that.
No, that's true. That's true.
What would you have done? What would you have done differently?
It's hard to say. I think we almost sold our business. I think if you remember in like 2018, 2019. To a competitor. And how nice that looked, looking back.
Oh, man. But then we would have hit COVID.
But we wouldn't have owned the companies at that point.
True. And then we wouldn't have done other things.
So it's like, you never know. So hindsight. I don't know. I think having a business sell, I'm not going to say broker, but like a business advisor, which we had, but I would have done that differently. I would have found a business broker or advisor taking us through that sales process who understood our industry more and who had experience working with female founders.
Right.
I think that I think it's easy to say, we wish we could have found an investor, but let's not forget that the year we sold, which was 2022, check my fact on this, but I think that VC funds, and we had developed an app at that point. We had a skincare line. We had operations companies. So we had a vertically integrated wellness suite of entities.
Yes. That were profitable.
They were profitable. They were profitable, all of them. And so, but in technology, that's insane. So, so we were, sound-minded business people. But that year, like we can say we should have done it, but 2.3% of all VC funding went to women in that year.
Right. That's right.
So, I had joked during that time period, like, can we just throw Vinny on some of these meetings and he can pretend he owns the company, because he can literally say nothing and probably get funded before.
Right. That to me was the biggest most compelling thing of going, we just couldn't get arrested. We just couldn't get the traction of that. But now, people are like looking into businesses. I mean, I don't know the stats at the moment where things are with VCs. I'm sure it's improved a little bit, maybe, but maybe not. I mean, there's just something to be said about that. And I mean, what's crazy is that,
by the way, it hasn't improved.
It hasn't changed. We should have done what some intelligent, brilliant businesswomen did and said, let's create our own fund. And
they're starting to do that. I mean, that's what's starting to happen. And that's, to me, like, that's super exciting. That's super, super. If there's a future bucket of money that cometh this way, that's where I want to put my money in the hands of people that I know will make it happen.
Absolutely. And I think that's something we can lend to other, especially female entrepreneurs is, dude, find your tribe, and then find the people that believe in your tribe and hit them up for cold hard cash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then give them the returns that they can't get anywhere else.
That's right.
You are going to put your everything into
everything. You sacrifice everything.
And that's the difference. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like the last part of the questions was lesson and legacies, right? Like, we definitely left a legacy. We knew that our kids wouldn't want this company just because they saw us go through it. My daughter was like, I never want to be an entrepreneur. Your daughter was probably like, yeah, I like makeup and stuff, but don't want to do what you're doing. You don't want mom to tell me to do what. Avery was more like, I don't want to do that because you.
How old was Avery when COVID hit?
Oh, she was 16.
Yeah, that's a hard time.
Yeah, it was really hard. It was really hard because she was at home having to do stay-at-home stuff. Her friend had passed away. It was really, really hard. And lifting her off the ground during that, trying to keep myself from just crawling into a hole. I mean, we cried. I have that on tape, us having to tell our team that we had to close down all of our spas. And I said, I have to record this so that we have this on camera so we never forget what it feels like to go from feeling on top of the world to you have no idea if everyone's going to die, to losing everything that we had built. And I mean, remember we talked about, we were like, we're going to lose our homes. I'm going to lose my home. We had SBA loans, all that stuff. And you just didn't know. And so we've all learned, hindsight again, being 2020. Here's a question. Okay. What's a story that you would tell? We have so many, Jesus. But what's an inside story that you can think of? I'm curious to see if we have the same story, because we do tend to finish each other's sentences. Just an inside story that makes us laugh to this day. That was an inside kind of joke or story that we would say. Which one would you tell?
Do it.
Oh, okay. Tell them that one. Tell them that one, because I'm going to tell the one I
don't think it's a good story. I don't think it's a good story because I
think it is.
Disgusting.
I think it's fantastic. Tell it.
We're in your spare bedroom. We're in your spare bedroom.
Yeah.
We're upstairs. You have a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she was 3 actually at the time. And I'm childless. And we've decided, because we just opened Spa Theology and we had brought 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐾 in, and then 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐾, which is a beautiful skincare line out of Australia. That's actually, I'm seeing a resurgence of, which I like to see that. But they had just been bought by Estee Lauder and have just started sending out the announcements that some products might be changing and
Yeah.
And, in true entrepreneurial spirit, it was, well, we can't risk the quality of the product that are going on our guests' bodies and backs. So let's put together an amazing team, and a botanist and aromatherapist and a chemist, and let's build our own skincare line. So we went through that process, and so we have the products, and we have the bottles, and of course, in true Christina fashion, every bottle gets a ribbon and all of the little accoutrements on the
the painful stuff that can't be duplicated.
That no one is around to do except for us.
Yep, pretty much.
So we're in your bedroom, your spare bedroom, which is the lab, and we're bottling the products. And now we have the hairnets on, and we have all the things, and we're doing all the right things. And a little spooge of product, just
a what?
A little spooge, like a little
You said spooge.
Is that the wrong word?
I mean, it's all right. It's schmear. Go on.
Well, it's not a bagel.
I know, but it's not something else that you just said spooge.
Like a droplet.
Dribble.
A
Droplet.
A dribble of product.
Came off the side.
Onto your leg. Okay.
What was I wearing? What was I wearing?
Jeans. And it was so expensive. I mean, we're talking
Product.
A pea-size amount was like at least $2. I mean, and then
$2.
Add all that up. That's like a $40 wholesale cost product.
That's a lot of spooge over the side.
And we're exhausted, and we had been building products forever, and totally out of character. I say, do it. And you just take the bottle, and you just take your leg
and scrape it into the bottle, and we're like, we're not losing that $2. And Ilana's like, do it. Do it. Totally not like her. I would have been the one to go. No one cares.
No one cares. No, but I cared, and I always felt bad about that. Like, yeah, because provide when
I know the quality, but in that moment, it was sacred skin prior to provide. So whatever. That's right. It doesn't count. I love that. Do it.
I don't like that story.
So we told that story. We wouldn't tell that story to people. We would just go, do it. No one knew what we meant. There was something else that we would always say too, which was we were interviewing a potential VP or someone like that. So we go down to Miami and we go and we
always looking for VPs.
Always we're looking for a great VP. Because we were trying to offload some of our own legacy work that we were doing because we were exhausted. So trying to grow the company, and we meet this person. Resume, fantastic. We go to this very fancy dinner because we want to show her, hey, we're not messing around. We are ballers. Let's go. So we take her to this really nice South Beach restaurant. And this woman is very English, and she is very posh, and we're like digging it, right? And she comes from a brand that we really respected and loved, and so it was like, okay, this person could be great. Talk the right game and everything. Orders a shrimp salad. The server comes over and has the pepper grinder. And I was a waitress for 7 years. Ilana waited tables too, and so the server comes over and would anyone like some cracked pepper? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Ilana's like, yeah, I have a little bit. Great, good. This person gets hers and he goes over, he starts to grind it, and she's like this. Oh, you're going to get tired. Keep going. Oh. I'm not kidding you. This bitch had him grinding for a freaking good 5 minutes. And it was like this.
I'm talking
pepper. And she's smiling, laughing. And he's looking at us and we're like, we don't
know her. We don't know her.
We don't know her. We just met her. We're treating her to this nice dinner. What is she doing? And she keeps going like this. Shame. Shame. And we're like, shame. Shame? Then she goes, okay, thanks. That's plenty. And it's like a pepper fest. And we're just like, is she joking? Is she going to start sneezing and coughing? Is she? That's how she wanted it. She's eating, and I'm waiting for her to choke on this salad because I'm just waiting for a pepper flake to hit the wrong windpipe. Didn't happen. But the whole time, while she's telling us stories about her job and her life, she keeps going, shame. And we're like, why is she saying shame? But Ilana and I are so good and so on point. We don't look at each other yet because we know if we catch each other's eyes, we're going to start laughing.
Death.
So we don't look at each other the whole dinner, really. We're kind of like looking over each other, not catching each other's eyes. We leave that dinner. We are walking back side by side to the hotel, and we don't miss a beat. We're like, bye, great to meet you, love it, blah, 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 blah. We walk, we turn the corner, we're walking, we both, without even looking at each other, we're like, shame. Shame became a family affair. My husband says shame still. My daughter says shame. My brother and my sister-in-law say shame. Ilana says shame. I'm surprised her kids aren't saying shame. Vinny was saying shame. And now we have this big thing. We just say shame. We say it all the time. And those are the memories that I giggle about at like 10 o'clock at night before I go to bed. I go, shame.
Yeah. You got to
it was ridiculous.
It was beyond.
That and the woman who ordered almost a $200 risotto with truffles at dinner once, we went,
yes,
I'll just have an orange juice then, because this girl's spending our money like crack, and we're like, we don't have it. That made me laugh. I remember that. That was good times.
I like that.
That's
I
a
like
good
that.
story.
No, that's a good one.
Well, now we're going to do a segment that I've created for us, you and me, called Ping and Pong.
Okay.
So, cue the Ping and Pong segment. Here's how it's going to go.
I love how you have prepared me for none of this.
That's right. Yeah, because I need authenticity. I need real answers. It's not that big of a deal. You're good, because I know you're really good on the fly.
No.
All right. Coffee or wine? What gets you through a business deal?
Coffee.
Mine is a Moscow Mule. Great.
Yeah. What about you?
Your wine also, by the way. She's both. She's coffee and wine.
Yeah. My son, when he was like 3 or 4 years old, told Vinny, when Vinny said, what should we get mommy for her birthday? And he said, coffee and wine.
See? Perfect question. I knew it. That's true. All right. Who was more likely to drop an F-bomb in a meeting, you or me?
Who wrote these? You, duh.
Alana would not be caught dead dropping an F-bomb in a meeting.
No.
If anything, it would be me to kind of gain a little trust with them. And all of a sudden, then their hair would let down and Alana would be like, okay, good, we're in.
Yeah. Okay, let me pull up the spreadsheet. This is
the worst is when if I dropped an F-bomb at the wrong kind of time or the wrong crowd, we would hear about it later.
That's true.
Maybe we didn't get that gig. One word to describe me as a partner.
Brilliant.
Not true.
Okay, loyal.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the word. Because my word for you is brilliant.
No.
It is. No, you're brilliant. You are. You're very smart. You are very smart. And I thought you were going to say mine was funny. Because I am funny. But it is.
You're loyal.
I am very loyal.
Yeah. And you give loyalty so people give it back to you.
That's the hope, right? That's always the hope.
It works. It's like what Covey said, right? Extend trust to receive trust, you know?
Steve Covey. Yeah. Frank Covey?
Stephen. Yeah.
Stephen Covey. Why say Frank? Who's Frank? I don't know.
Maybe a cousin.
Maybe it is. Maybe. All right. Your favorite place we ever traveled together for work?
Oh, favorite place we ever traveled. I mean, clearly Las Vegas.
Yep. It was going to say Scrub Island because it wasn't our favorite. It was actually horrible, but it was beautiful.
Beautiful.
But horrific at the same time.
That was in the BVI. Now listen, I was going to say New York, but New York is a hot mess for you.
No, hate it. I can't do New York. I love it.
Yeah, it's no good. I mean, for somebody who's claustrophobic who calls ahead to the hotel to make sure we're on the lowest floor.
I did that in Vegas too. Ilana used to get a little annoyed, but she didn't care. She loved me enough that she'd accept. We always shared a room, by the way, always. And when we didn't, it was weird. We'd just stay in each other's rooms the whole night. It's like, why didn't we get the same room? So I remember the company that acquired us. I told the CEO, well, we can save money for you guys. We share a room. He was like, that's really weird. I'm like, is it weird? We've been partners for 18 years. Do you think we're going to spend $700 a night on? No, we're business entrepreneurs too. We're going to share that room. We're going to split it. We're going to split that.
I'd rather take the $350.
Yeah, give me the money. I want a nice suit or a good dinner. You kidding me? Yeah. All right, champagne toast or tequila shot after a big win?
Champagne toast.
Champagne toast. Even though I don't like champagne, but if it was sweet, you like the drier one. Yeah. What's one lesson you'd shout from the rooftops about our partnership?
Trust.
Absolutely.
Trust.
I agree. It's so funny. We answer very similarly because I wrote down my answers.
Oh, you did?
Yep. Who stressed more, you or me?
You.
Totally. Because remember we talked in the beginning, what could she do? Compartmentalize. I couldn't. All right. Guilty pleasure, reality show or movie you'd never admit in a boardroom.
Reality. I love watching horrible reality shows.
Yeah, I know. Which one would you say is a guilty pleasure that you like to watch that you would never tell anyone?
I mean, I watch all the Housewives. I mean,
that's mine. Housewives of Atlanta. Boom shakalaka. Got a little nene back in the day. Yeah, we'd be like little nene.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm with you. That Naked and Afraid, but that just spurs conversations with
I don't
people.
like Naked and Afraid. You recommended me to watch it one time. I was like, this is just weird. I grew up with hippies on the land.
I know.
I don't need any more of this.
Yeah, well, like I couldn't watch them killing a rat to eat it. Not happening.
No.
All right, but the last question: if we had to start a business together today, what would it be?
It would be a probably a services consulting business.
Yeah, yeah.
And out of that would spawn some product.
Knowing us, we would not be able to not put our hands on product.
It would be
too.
some sort of product. Maybe in the industry, maybe not in the wellness industry, but there would be, because there's there's a joy in bringing something to life. There's a joy in bringing a vision to life. And when you work with clients on their vision, you're a consultant, you're bringing their vision to life. You definitely feel all the feels of that. It's exciting. But when we have created tangible products together, and gone through the brainstorming, the iteration, the naming, the sitting in a dive in New York City at an Italian place talking about what's her name, what is she like, how old is she, and we're talking about a product, right? Like, and then a year later bringing that to life and feeling the essence of it, and that is exciting. I mean, there's something really exciting. And then the validation of sales happening, that's a great feeling. So I think that we would do that again together.
I think so too. I think that would be our thing. And the hardest part of all of it is that we're both going through this reinvention phase and understanding what we want to do and what we want to be. And when we grow up, although we're already grown, and we're still discovering that. So who knows what the future holds? I just know that we have had and continue to have a blossoming, incredible friendship relationship that's not very common. And we've been so fortunate. God put us together and said, okay, ladies, do what you're going to do and do it well, and hopefully ignite some passion in people. And I think that we could definitely hang our hats on that and say we did that.
Yes.
And we did it well.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm proud of you for guiding our companies the way you did and continuing to always message our message of being a loving company. We loved each other. We respected, trust, and we had discipline. Not like a lot of people had seen. And I think that that's the lesson, I think, overarching for other people wanting to have a business partnership is you have to love unconditionally. That person, you need to get them when they're up and when they're down and understand them, know their strengths, know their weaknesses, accept your weaknesses and accept your strengths, and know that you've got a good synergy. And if you don't, you need to part ways. It's not going to work because you have to be willing to give up so much and blend together and be a force. So we have an opportunity to speak together. It's going to be very exciting. And that'll be our first time speaking together in a very long time. And we're teaching about some AI stuff for people that are in our industry. So that'll be exciting. But I just want to thank you for coming on. I'll definitely be having you back if you'll be so
I would love to. This was so fun.
Yeah. That's what I told you. I'm like, I'm not sending you questions. She's like, should I be prepared? Do I need to answer? I'm like, nerd. No, you don't, because it's just us. And what I love about it is this is going to be, I think, helpful for people who want to just know about navigating the world of owning a company, selling it, business partnerships, and the ups and downs. And I know we've got so much more to share. So this is just the beginning, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you, Christine. I love this. I love what you're doing. I love what you're becoming and how you're blossoming. And I'm your greatest friend and biggest cheerleader.
I appreciate it. Same here. Right back at you, girl. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed meeting Ilana Alberico. She is one of my dearest friends, and I can't say more things about her. She is smart, funny, beautiful, witty, brilliant, and just someone that I have leaned on for a very long time and will continue to. I think we're friends for life because of what we've done together and been and done it together. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a little bit of something along the way. Business partnerships can be challenging, but they also are extremely rewarding when it's right. And ours was right. So I hope you get to find your best friend through a business partner, because when you know, you know. So thanks for tuning in. Love having you come back every week. You know, I'm your host, Christina Rumbly, for this Reinventing Rumbly crazy phase of my life. Would love to hear about yours. What are you reinventing? What are you going through right now? Let me hear it. Love it. Reinventingrumbly@gmail.com. Reach out to me. Let's talk. And don't forget to come back next week because we'll have more episodes like this and others. Get to know each other, women in business, being a mom, all the fun stuff. So listen, pull up a chair and join me because we are always reinventing on this windy road of life.